Good evening, today's May 25th, and today I'll continue to be talking about the coronavirus. So the first piece of news that I like to talk about is that many airlines, including three of the largest airlines in the United States, have started running cargo-only flights on passenger airplanes. So as the number of flights worldwide has declined for travelers, the demand for transporting cargo, especially medical supplies, have increased dramatically. So under normal circumstances, about half of all air freight is transported in cargo planes operated by companies like UPS and FedEx, and the other half is typically carried in the bowels of planes below where passengers sit. But in the coronavirus time, the grounding of most flights worldwide contributed to a nearly 23% decline in air cargo storage, and demand fell a more modest 15%. So the gap between supply and demand, along with the boost from discounted jet fuel prices, caught the attention of airline executives. I think I've mentioned previously in my videos that the airline industry is suffering dramatically, and that they're basically losing hundreds of millions of dollars each day that they're not running flights. And this is just a bright spot for the industry, that it is the only part that is operating and earning revenue at any scale. So the average price to ship a kilogram of cargo by air was $3.63 last month, a 65% rise from March. And I think passenger airlines to keep offering cargo flights is really good for not only their business, but if there's going to be more planes that are going to be transporting the cargo will arrive quickly. And since these are medical supplies which are going in shortage, I feel like this is going to be a really good idea, not only for the airline industry, but also for everybody else as well. Other airline news includes that the airline Lufthansa is going to receive a 10 billion payout from the German government, which would take a 20% stake in the airline, and they will have the ability to. The second thing that I'd like to talk about is that rats have been extremely aggressive searching for food during shutdowns, and the CDC has already given out a warning for this. The rats are not becoming aggressive toward people, but toward each other, and the scary thing about this is that as streets emptied out, hordes of rats took over the streets, and hundreds of thousands of rats in Chicago have started boldly searching for food, traveling farther and farther daytime, as some have even moved into car engines. So the rats are literally going to war with each other as food supply declines, and they're basically eating each other's young in some populations and battling each other for the food they can find. However, rats that live and eat in residential blocks, not near restaurants, haven't noticed a single bit of difference during the shutdown. The CDC recommended sealing access to homes and businesses, removing debris, keeping garbage in tightly covered bins, and removing pet and bird food from yards to keep hungry rodents at bay, because this should put homeowners on alert, whether in rural or urban America, because people who don't ordinarily see rats may start to notice them. And I hope you guys, anyone that's listening to this video, is that rats are very resilient and they're good at being pests. So I hope that you do notice and try to keep the rats at bay. The third thing that I'd like to talk about is that Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro had been a pandemic skeptic, ignoring the warnings of health experts and mocking social distancing measures. Now Brazil has the second highest number of confirmed coronavirus infections, trailing the United States, And as hospitals collapse and mayors and governors beg for help, Mr. Bolsonaro has spent recent months fighting the Supreme Court, Congress, and even his own ministers. So I feel like even now American officials said that they will be imposing up the ban to slow the spread of the disease by banning flights from Brazil. This is obviously an extremely large blow to Mr. Bolsonaro, and as he has often tried to use his friendship with Mr. President Trump to heighten his support, but now as even America turns its back on Brazil, I think this really shows the really consequences of ignoring this huge coronavirus pandemic. And I hope that any leaders will try to either stop the virus if it is entering their country, or just try to protect the people as best as they can, because we know that government officials are trying their best when they can. But like Mr. Bolsonaro, who's just completely ignoring the virus, I don't think that's an extremely good idea. That's it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.